He can be every bit as good as he has been up front.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I stand by that.
All right, I'm not going to drag you out any further. You've got a job ahead. Your voice is nearly gone. Thanks for your help throughout the series and good luck tonight.
Thanks, Adam.
There he is, Lance Justice. Couldn't get out of bed yesterday. He was that crook, but he wouldn't miss this for anything. Sokiola in his first Inter-Dominion final. I said earlier on in the night that maybe the key driver to this race is Anthony Butt and his tactics from Barrier 3. You're way too smart to tell us what you're thinking in your head. All week you've kept quiet about what you're going to do. So I'll bounce the first question. How's the horse? Because of the 3 heat runs, maybe he was just down 5% last Friday.
Yeah, I think so, Adam. Yeah, we're still quite happy with him, but I think the mare went very good, Lombo Lafifi. But he has bounced back great, and, he's 110%, so we've got absolutely no worries that side of things.
You've had fans in the stall, you've had sprinklers going over him in the paddock, so the heat hasn't knocked him round at all?
No, it's been good, really. We had a couple of hot days early in the week, but he's handled it beautifully, and we've had a great place to stay at with trees and nice barn, so, that's not a worry at all.
Yeah, all the talk about this race seems to be what the heck will happen in the first 400 metres. Going back to the Victoria Cup, did you learn something about how the first 400 can be overrated?
Yeah, wasn't the first 400, it's probably the 400 after that. But, it's a hard race. It's going to be a hard race to drive, and you're going to be looking for a spot early. And, the race is not run in the first 200 metres. So, we'll just be playing it by ear a little. I'm not really sure, how good our guy's going to come out. He has got gate speed, and but, there's obviously going to be a fair bit of gate speed around him as well. So, I'm not too concerned. I just want to get out and do my own thing, and then I'll just work it out on the way around.
Last question, your experience in big races. You're up against a few kids tonight. Does it give you that extra little bit of confidence?
Oh, not really. They're all good drivers and great drivers. They could be going to be champions, and if they're not already. But no, I don't worry about that kind of thing. I just worry about myself and do my own job and my own horse, and they can worry about themselves.
You've done the job so far, even if some said you might have got itchy fingers a little bit last week. I'm sure you won't in the final tonight. Good luck.
Thanks, Adam.
Anthony Butt joining us there. He's got the biggest job, I think, in the race early on, Mr. DG from Gate. Sam, welcome back to Gloucester Park, and Chris Lewis joins us. Inter-Dominion success is no stranger at all to you. How's the feeling going into this one?
Oh, great anticipation. It's going to be a great race. There's so many chances. You could tip 6 and get it wrong.
Well, odds-wise, you're on far more of a car clue than a village kid tonight, but the barrier draw, how much gate speed has he got? Are you going to give it a lick for the lead?
We'll definitely have a look. We'll see what happens. We want to be in a forward position at least, and the way that he got out the other night, well, there's a chance he could be in front.
All right, it'd be a lovely spot to be, wouldn't it? Just looking back through his series quickly, started with a really encouraging run. Then on night 2, he just looked a little flat there, but he really lifted for night 3. Yeah,
I'd have to agree with you. On night 2, I thought, well, maybe he isn't cut out for a series. And then he really bounced back on the Friday and ran a great race and bounced it off that very well.
Right, you, as I said last week, you know this track really well. You've watched this series closely. Who are the big guns? Who are the real horses to beat?
Like I said, there's 6 good chances. The Falcon Strike, I think is still probably the hardest horse to beat. He's had, like all of us, we've had a week to recover, and he should recover pretty well. I'd say he'd be back to his best tonight, and as for the rest of them, how they've recovered, it's hard for me to say, but I know my blokes recovered extremely well. And, when you step up in the series and you're going well on your last heat, you're always pretty happy that they're heading into form, and I'm pretty happy with him.
Well, it's great to be part of it on your home soil. Good luck tonight, Chris.
The big one, the one we've been waiting for, the Ross North Inter-Dominion Pacing Championship final. Numbers here 3, 1, 6 and 11. Mr. DG, he had the best form throughout the series. Very hard to go past. Gate speed somewhat questionable, but Mr. DG with Anthony Butt having the pipe opener with Lombo Lafifi. He's on top here from number 1, Joe Fest. There is conjecture whether or not he will be able to hold out. I doubt whether he will, but he should be able to get the right run somewhere in the race. Number 6, the Falcon Strike. Hard to leave the local favourite out. And 11 in Sokiola, trained to the minute by Lance Justice. Should be a great race. Country Ways in there with claims, along with Double Identity. Very hard to leave the Grand Circuit leader out. In the big one, 3, 1, 6 and 11, we've got Mr. DG on top.
Okay. This probably sums up why the Inter-Dominion is such a great event. The favourite. He's the local star from WA. Mr. DG's from New Zealand. Sokiola's from Victoria, but owned in South Australia. and Joe Fess is representing New South Wales, as is Double Identity. So you couldn't get a greater cross sample of horse talent to represent the...
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Inter-Dominion Grand Final. The score-up about to begin. And now to the moment. Long awaited, much savoured. The elitist equine gathering begins to move slowly, but inexorably towards this quest. A quest for their own fine leaf page in the book of Harness Racing Immortals. For such will they become with victory tonight. How will the great race be run? What champion will emerge from the battle? All the theorising is done. Too late to change now. $3.40 on the TAB, the Falcon Strike. $4.30 Mr. DG. $7.70 Joe Fess. $7.70 Double Identity. $5.60 Sogiola. They start to gather speed. Get set for the 2004 Ross North Inter-Dominion Final. The ghosts of Mount Eden, Pure Steel and Bin Shaw looking on at this hallowed velodrome of speed. They're set. The green light is there. The race is on. May the best horse win. Bouncing out brilliantly, Buck the Odds. All Hearts got superior speed from the outside. Joe Fess beaten out a length and a half, but he's got time to gather momentum. They hit that first turn. Joe Fess getting his legs up inside Buck the Odds, and he just might hold him. All Heart, who beat them out a length, is going to have to restrain, and Nats Nifty will drive up onto the back of Joe Fess, who will hold the lead. Mr. DG drops back to fifth, and the Falcon Strike has been caught three wide around Double Identity, who got back in the field. On the inside next is Country Ways, followed by the stablemate Peggy Dale. Sokiola third from last, settling down on a length and a half to Selby Brymack. Two away at the tail of the field is Faking It as Darren Hancock settles Joe Fess in the van. He brings them down to the top of the straight, and the first appeal is Mr. DG. Now he looms around to the leader's wheel. Hall's going to press forward on the Falcon Strike, three wide, and Butt's going to let him go. The Falcon Strike has dashed around the field, and he's gone to second. On the back of the leader is Nats Nifty, and then Buck the Odds covering Country Ways. Peggy Dale sliding up on the inside of All Heart, and then Double Identity. The Grand Circuit champion covers Faking It, saving ground on the pegs. Sokiola's got back to second last, and Selby Brymack at the rear of the field. Now the lead time was 68.4. It's pretty quick, but Joe Fess loves it in front, and he controls play. He goes topside by a length and a half. Nats Nifty on the inside of the Falcon Strike. It was three deep a fair while, but he's gone to second now and races without cover. A length away the Kiwi Star, Mr. DG, beautifully positioned by Anthony Butt. Three back the pegs is Country Ways, and then Buck the Odds. On the inside was Peggy Dale. All Heart was next. Justice is off on Sokiola, three wide. He'll be tracked forward by Selby Brymack, and then Faking It. Double Identity got back to the tail of the field. They came up for a breather, 31.9. That quarter into the straight for the bell in the Ross North Inter-Dominion, and Joe Fess has been there from the get-go. The Falcon Strike given more rain now. That quarter in 30.3, the half in 62.2. The Falcon Strike trying to put it to Joe Fess. Third is Nats Nifty. Fourth is Mr. DG. Sokiola three deep around him, but stayed in the middle. On the inside, Country Ways, Selby Brymack wider out. Going up in the centre, Buck the Odds, and further back to Peggy Dale. Double Identity a long way from them. All Heart got back, and then Faking It by the palms at the 450. No place for boys out there. In front, Joe Fess about a neck on the Falcon Strike. He's digging deep. A half length away, Sokiola trying hard to claim them both. And then Nats Nifty. Mr. DG coming four wide now, and a gap to Double Identity. That quarter in 28 even. Around the turn now it gets real. Joe Fess just the leader. The crowd roared as the Falcon Strike tried to get on terms. Wider out Sokiola, Mr. DG. It's Joe Fess in front. They're claiming him. They're claiming him. I don't know. I don't know. The Falcon Strike maybe, or Joe Fess. Oh, I'm just not sure. Third's very close, and they're inches away. Mr. DG and Sokiola. It's one of the great finishes in Inter-Dominion history. Close up behind them is Country Ways, All Heart, Double Identity, Peggy Dale, Nats Nifty, Selby Brymack, Buck the Odds, and Faking It. And I just don't know. It's Joe Fess or the Falcon Strike. I was all set to say Joe Fess has won. The Falcon Strike, he looked to be struggling, and in the last bound he's made one last dive at him, and I just don't know. It is one of the great finishes, a four-way thriller. Joe Fess, the Falcon Strike, they are the main two. Oh, number one has got it. Joe Fess. Darren Hancock has won it by the barest possible margin. You've never seen anything like it. The Falcon Strike is beaten a millimetre. Sokiola is inches away third. Mr. DG is inches away fourth. Countryways has run fifth. And the last half has come through in 56.8. The last quarter in 28.8. Number one is Semaphord. Joe Fess from New South Wales has led from go to woe. And when you look at the freeze frame, you still can't pick it. They've managed to separate them. They must have had the advantage of advanced technology. Joe Fess has lasted to win. The Falcon Strike 3 deep for 600, then into the breeze, under pressure in the straight. And for a moment, he looked the least likely of the four to win. And then suddenly his heart, his mighty heart, has lifted, and he has failed by the barest margin that you could possibly separate them and not call it a dead heat. Extraordinary. Truly an extraordinary finish. They've gone slower than the consolation, 158.2 Lombo La Fifa. They've gone 158.7 in the final. Sokiola, tremendous run in defeat. He's got back to second last at one stage. He's come 3 deep around them, and he just kept coming. The winning margin is a nose. The margin between second and third is a head. The margin between third and fourth is a head. Countryways is fifth. Double Identity has made up ground to run officially sixth, but he was never likely in the Inter-Dominion. And please put your hands together for the New South Wales star Joe Fess and trainer reinsman Darren Hancock in the 2004 Ross North Inter-Dominion. Joe Fess has defeated number 6, the Falcon Strike, trained by Gary Hall Senior, trained by Gary Hall Junior. They'll talk about it for 50 years.
Where do you possibly start to revisit that race? What an amazing finish. Joe Fess, once he led, I thought he would win. I think most people thought he would win. In the end, it was a slender, slender margin. The Falcon Strike. What an amazing run outside the leader. He was going to run fourth at the top of the straight. In one more stride, he wins. Sokiola was 3 wide without cover from the 1200. He just kept fighting. And Mr. DG, who I guess on face value had his chance, did have to ease at the 300 metre mark to come around them 4 wide. He still hit the line, mighty strong. That race certainly promised and delivered. We are obviously hoping to link in to an interview with winning trainer driver Darren Hancock, the nephew of Brian Hancock, who carries on a family tradition of winning the 2004 Ross North Inter-Dominion Championship. Fabulous victory. He just held the front. There was nothing in it. All heart, for all intents and purposes, was going to cross. Buck the odds, got in the middle. That was all that Darren Hancock needed, that invitation to slide through on the fence. He didn't run as hard that first quarter as many might have thought he would. He is dour. 31.9, then 30.3, 28, 28.8, 158.7. We are pretty much on start time at Mandurah. We'll have to skip there for that upcoming race, but we promise we'll be straight back.
And what about the post? How did you feel? Had you won on the post? What was going through your mind?
I was close. I sort of thought I won, but I weren't going to say anything.
You've done a great job with Joe Fess. He's certainly acclimatised to West Australian conditions.
Yeah, no, full credit goes to my father, Richard. He's done everything with him. I've only worked him twice.
Well done. Congratulations on the victory. We'll let you and Joe Fess go down the home straight here. Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to have a look at Joe Fess. He'll be going down the home stretch here. Give him a round of applause. The victor of the 2004 Ross North Inter-Dominion Pacing Championship, Darren Hancock and Joe Fess.
A wonderful success story. Of course, Joe Fess went to Perth earlier in the year to contest the Australian Pacing Championship and the Western Australian Pacing Cup. Ran fantastic races without an incredible amount of luck in those particular events, but he stayed in Perth. It probably was one of the most significant aspects of this triumph because he acclimatised to the hotter Perth conditions. As you heard there, Darren's father, Richard, was with the horse for most of that time. Richard Hancock has an illustrious history in harness racing, both on the track and as a stud master. Of course, Richard and Brian Hancock were closely affiliated for many years during the 80s. He certainly knows what it takes to win big races, and a big race they have won tonight with Joe. Joe Fess, interesting to note, wasn't it, that he was fourth in that Inter-Dominion that we showed you from 2002 behind Smooth Satin. He's been a war horse. He came through a wonderful crop of 2- and 3-year-olds that included Smooth Satin and, of course, Double Identity. A wonderful finale. He was able to hold the lead, and that was the significant aspect of tonight's race. Now, as far as some other dividends for you are concerned, Western Australia firstly, the Quartet 5. I don't know what I'm reading there, but it was most definitely number 1, of course. Okay, going to the results for the Inter-Dominion, the Quartet 1, 6, 11 and 3, $447.20. The double 6 and 7 was $21 on the new.
Honourable Nick Griffiths, Minister for Racing and Gaming in Western Australia. Honourable Grant McBride, Minister for Gaming and Racing, New South Wales. Honourable Barry House, MLC, Shadow Minister for Racing and Gaming. The Right Honourable Lord Mayor, Dr Peter Nattrass. Tony Abel, President, Inter-Dominion Harness Racing Council. Mr Ross Bowe, Chairman, Racing and Wagering Western Australia. Mr Ross North, Director Ross North Homes, and naming right and principal sponsor for this great Inter-Dominion series. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, you have all just witnessed one of the great races at Gloucester Park, the 2004 Ross North Inter-Dominion. What a finish that race was. We have just seen the great pacer from New South Wales, Joe Fess, hold out the WA champ, the Falcon Strike, by inches. What a magnificent Inter-Dominion Carnival we have seen. The past 15 days have delivered some pacing action of the highest calibre and is a testament to tonight's winner to come through the competitive fields, hotly contested heats and this magnificent final, to now be crowned the 2004 Ross North Inter-Dominion Pacing champion. Joe Fess joins an illustrious group of previous winners, which includes the previous reigning champion, Baltic Eagle. As an owner of Baltic Eagle last year, we are particularly proud to have our principal sponsor, Ross North, involved in the 2004 Inter-Dominion Carnival. Ross North Homes have given us a great support in the lead-up to this great series throughout the entire Inter-Dominion, and on behalf of the WATA committee, and indeed all harness racing fans that are here tonight and watching this race throughout Australia and New Zealand, I acknowledge and thank Ross North and his company for their great support.
Pleasure to present the prestigious 2004 Ross North Inter-Dominion Cup to the connections of Joe Fess, Mr Tony Hilton and Mr Bruce Travascus.
Okay. Would you mind grabbing those? Where are they?
When they get here. Okay. Congratulations.
Tony.
Good luck, Tony. Bruce, how are you? Okay. It's all yours, mate. Good luck.
Okay, we're just having a look at the replay, which we will come back and bring to you, but the owners have just accepted the trophy and they're pretty excited.
I'm speaking on behalf of Bruce Travaskis, my partner in the horse, and his late wife, Libby. I know we don't want to go on about it, and it's upset his, Libby was just we loved her. We all loved her, and she's up there, and I think she was with us there tonight. I know she was. And was just over the moon with this win. I'd like to also thank the Gloucester Park and the Ross North sponsors for this great series. I think it's been, the racing has been unbelievable. There's a lot of horses that probably didn't make it that they hoped that they would, and commiserations go to them. I'd also like to thank Darren Hancock. What a great front-running drive, and we've had a few, I think, more of the races that we haven't won with this horse, even though we've had some great, this is our third Group 1 win. At times, some of the other drivers and trainers know that we've been a bit stiff on a few big occasions, and tonight they can't take this one away. I'd also like to thank Dick Hancock. Dick come over here, he's been over a couple of times and gone back to Sydney and come back and stayed with Ken and Betty White, and they have just been wonderful. It's a real team effort, and when we came over here, Ken said, you've got to just come and have a look at this track where Jophus will be doing his fast work. The Stampalier family, Tony and daughter Tonya and Vance and their mum have just been outstanding to allow us to work on their track, and I'm sure that's contributed in a big way to the win of this horse. To all our supporters here, I've made a lot of friends in Perth. I just love the place, and Ken White introduced me to I don't know how many people, but they're all around, and we'll catch up with them later. But it's just been over the moon, and I've said right from the word go that Perth has just really taken me, and we've just had a great time, and I hope that all you people here is an awesome crowd, and I hope a few of you backed him, and well, it's just been unbelievable. We'll never forget it. Thanks very much, and I hope you had a great night.
You've got to come back again for the driver. You really twice.
What do I say? Most of all, Perth Harness Racing Club, it's been a great experience over here. All the people that have looked after us, Kenny and Betty White, they've done a fantastic job. Most of all, I'd like to thank the people at home too. A lot of work into this horse, and my mum Carmel and Benita and Brandon at home, they didn't come over, they'd be listening, so that was great. A lot of thanks go to all the people, especially it's good to see Bruce come over and Tony, the owners. They've been so easy to train for. They're just great people, and it's good to see them get a good horse like this. And most of all, I probably don't deserve this trophy. Dad probably does. He's done all the work with this horse since he came over here. I really appreciate what he's done, and he got him to the post. Thank you.
Beautiful champion.
Thank you.
Great.
Thanks a lot. I don't know what to say again. It's good to be a driver when you get to the first corner and they look like they're going to cross you, but thanks a lot.
A wonderful family achievement for Darren and his dad, and of course his wider family, who are obviously there to support him the whole time. I'm sure Benita would be still up watching us tonight, his wife. More than glowing and exciting and excited and on pretty happy terms with the world, I would imagine. Now, that last race at Mandurah, not the last one, but the previous one, race 8, Super Tab punters, the running double 5 and 2 paid you $30.70, and the quartet 2, 5, 7 and 1 on the Western Australian tote $302.30. Now, New South Wales first four in the Inter-Dominion Pacing Championship paid $784.60. $784.60. Now that is the divvies in full yet again for the Inter-Dominion Grand Final. Now Adam Hamilton.
You for the win there. I think Sam's pretty satisfied, maybe in the pocket as well as the judgment there. He thought you could hold the lead. You did that, and what a moment when you did, because if ever there was a defining moment in a race, it was that first bend.
Yeah, it changed the race, Adam. Once I led, I you know, full credit goes to the horse. He's just so strong in front, and they just kept coming at me up the straight, and he fought them off. But, you know, he did a bit of work the first corner too to keep me out.
Certainly did. The middle stages of the race, the tempo was probably slower than you would have expected to get.
Yeah, it was good actually, because I sort of burned out, and then Falcon Strike come, and then he eased off, which was good, and it sort of saved me.
Certainly did. And then the 28 down the back, that was a plan you hatched, wasn't it? If you were in front, you were going to say, right, I'm going to break these boys out wide.